Hello everybody, how are you all? Hope everything is going on fine. Now today I would like to discuss about our new concept regarding our share forfeiture. Everybody is familiar with share capital because they know how shares are being issued, subscribed, isn't it? So, but here what happens as of the shareholders are subscribing the shares, but we do meet with certain shareholders who are neglecting and they are not interested to pay the installments that is due with them. Okay, for this only, today I am going to discuss with all about this particular forfeiture of shares. So before that, we just discuss about what is the meaning and how we are going to end it. So regarding forfeiture of shares, generally this forfeiture word, when we are discussing, means it is simply we call them as cancellation of shares. Why cancellation of shares? As of suppose we have 100 shareholders, out of them, if two or three shareholders they are not at all paying their due or call money as per the specified period, then what happens? The company will decide that by giving a 14 days notice, thereafter they would like to cancel the shares. Right. So in brief, just I have mentioned here. Just look after the points here. I will be discussing with you all regarding the points. So here, when a shareholder fails to pay the amount due on allotment or any calls within the specified period, because there is a constant period is there for each installments. So then what will happen? The company cancel his shares. So what are the criteria behind this? It is authorized by the Articles of Association. Articles of Association, you are very much aware of it. These are the rules and regulation, internal rules and regulation of a company. Okay, so here the company has the power to forfeit the shares or default in payment of amount that is due only if the Articles of Association authorize them to do so. That means if it is mentioned in the Articles of Association, then only this particular shares can be cancelled. Right? Now, coming to the second point here, the notice before forfeiture. Yes, this is the most important. That means they must be getting the notice due before it is going to be cancelled. So that means after further intimation, please pay the money for the particular due installments. But still, and if they are not going to pay, finally the directors of the company will issue a 14 days, clear 14 days notice. It is written here, a clear 14 days notice to be given to the defaulting shareholder to pay the amount in arrears with interest, if any, by the specified date, failing which the shares are liable to be forfeited. Forfeited means simply it should be cancelled. Now, next point. If in spite of this notice the shareholder still does not pay, the company may forfeit their shares by passing an appropriate resolution. That means they are going to pass a resolution, okay, in the meeting, and thereafter the shares are going to be. Then what is the plus point for the company? Here, on forfeiture, the shares are cancelled and the name of the shareholder is being removed. From where? From the register of members, right? From register of members, the shares are, their names are going to be removed. Now, the share capital is reduced with the amount called up on the forfeited shares. इसका मतलब ये है जितने सपोज एक शेयर होल्डर ने अगर उसकी फेस वैल्यू सपोज इट्स फेस वैल्यू इज गिवन 5 sorry 10 and that fellow has paid only rupees 5, so definitely here what will happen, they are going to, if suppose my nominal value is rupees 10 and he has paid rupees 5. So now we will be going to called up on this particular rest rupees 5 will be issued to the public. Right? Now the last point, the amount already paid by the defaulting shareholder belongs to the company and is not returned to them as it is totally cancelled. That is forfeited. Right? So now coming to the forfeiture of shares. I will be discussing today about forfeiture of shares at par. Okay, at par means as of I have discussed earlier, par value or we call them as face value, par or we call them as face value or we call them as nominal value. Okay, so here we have a particular journal entry regarding the forfeiture of shares. So once again, when we are discussing on forfeiture of share means there is going to be a cancellation of certain shareholders' shares. Okay. So what will happen here? Only in this particular case, for your kind information, only in this particular forfeiture of shares, my share capital is being debited. Because as of you know very well, all assets are debited and all liabilities and capitals are credited. But only in the case of share forfeiture, share capital is being debited. Am I clear all of you? Now here, what will happen? Here the share capital what is given there and we will decide about the called up value. What is the called up value of per share? That is the most important part. You have to understand the question very thoroughly. That if in a question there is a share forfeiture case is there, then we should know what was the called of value. On the basis of that, only we are going to do this particular forfeiture of shares and then regarding to forfeited shares, that is with the amount already received on forfeited shares. Then share allotment with amount due but not paid to share cost. That means suppose if I'm going to give an example here, if suppose 100 shares, okay, of RAM forfeited for non-payment of first call, sorry, of first allotment which was rupees 3 and calls which was rupees 4, right? So you have 100 shares of RAM and the face value is given. Face value is at the rate of rupees 10. So my face value is rupees 10. My allotment value is rupees 3 and my calls is rupees 4, right? So definitely which amount I have already paid, I have already paid which amount? My first installment. That is what? Application money. If my allotment is 3, my calls are 4, so definitely my application will be how much? 3. Okay. So now here what happened? What was the called off value now? It is up to the last installment. That is up to calls. So here my called up value will be share capital account debited. That is how much shares of RAM? 100 shares into this is I have received. These are the two which I have not received. So 100 into 10. This is my called out value. Try to understand. So this is rupees 1000 to forfeited shares. Forfeited share means the money that I have already received. Say regarding forfeiture of shares, it is cancellation. Pronunciation is cancellation forfeiture. But while making the journal entry here, while writing forfeited shares, here is the amount that I have already received. So here, which amount I have received? This part application, right? If application money is received, that is how much? 100 shares into 3. That is 300. Am I clear, all of you? Able to understand? Please thorough with the question. Then, coming to the second part, the money that I have not received, due but not paid. That is which one? Share allotment. Share allotment is how much? 100 shares into 3. That is also 300. Thereafter, I have not, that fellow has not paid the call money as well. That is 100 shares into 4, that is 4. See, the total amount has been clear. 300, 300, 600, 400,000. Correct? So this is my forfeiture of shares entry, and by this only we are going to cancel the shares. And for your kind information, in the case of cancellation of shares only, my share capital account is debited. Is it clear? Now, coming to the next. Here I have a question for you all. Let's try to understand. Here, C Limited is a company. They have forfeited 300 shares of rupees 10. Okay. Here the called of value given here is rupees 7. Okay. So here we are now sure that our called of value regarding the share forfeit is rupees 7. And what that fellow has not paid for non-payment of allotment of rupees 1 per share and first call of rupees 2 per share. Okay. So pass the necessary journal entries. Okay. How much shares have been forfeited? 300 shares. So first and foremost, I have told you here in the case of share forfeiture, my share capital account is being debited. So here, while mentioning the same, share capital account debited, this is how much? 300 shares into 7. Try to understand my called of value. That is much more important to show how much is your called of value. That is 7. So 300 into 7, this is 2100. Now, 2, what he fails to pay? Non-payment of what? Here is allotment. Okay. To share allotment account. That is your 300 shares into 1, that is 300. Then 2, share first call account, that is how much? Rupees 2 per share. So 300 shares into 2, that is 600. So now tell me, what was the amount that I have already received? Yes, that is my which amount? That is share application. How? See, if I'm going to prepare the share application, allotment, and share first call. So here total called up is 7. So first call is 2, allotment is 1. So definitely I have received this 4. So this money I have already received. So this will be to share forfeiture account. That is how much? 4. So 300 shares into 4. Definitely it is going to be 1200. And check it out whether the balance is valid or not. So here you will write being the shares forfeited, 300 shares forfeited for non-payment of allotment and first call. Is it clear all of you? Try to understand the question very thoroughly. Then only you can do this particular trick. Right? Now coming to the another question here also. Here, this is the last question we'll do. Thereafter we'll wind up the session. So D Limited has forfeited 400 shares rupees 10 each. Okay. So here the share forfeited is 400 shares. It is mentioned here. And face value is 10. Okay. And non-payment of allotment of rupees 2, first call rupees 3, as well as second and final call of rupees 2 per share. So definitely if it is 2, this is 3 and this is 2. Okay, 5 to 7. That means 3 that I have already received. This part I have received. If I have received, this is your which one? This is your application one. This is your allotment, first call, second and final call. Is it clear? Now check it. Your total face value is 10. This is also your hold of value. Right. So now coming to the journal entry here also. We start with share capital, as share capital account is being debited only in the case of share forfeiture. So here the amount is 400 shares. Okay, 400 shares. But the question here states that the second and final call of rupees 2 per shares has not yet been made. Okay. So here is the question that has not yet been made. That means what will be my called value in this case? 32538. So my called value will be 8 because this second and final call has not yet been made. Try to understand the question very thoroughly. So that means your called value will be 8. Am I clear? So it is not going to be 10 because it is mentioned here that the second and final call has not yet been met. So here coming to the question, so 400 shares is the shares that is going to be cancelled and your called value is, so definitely this is your 3200. Now the money that you have not yet paid, that is your allotment, share allotment account, and the amount mentioned is rupees 2. So 400 shares into rupees 2, that is your 800. Thereafter your share first call, the amount is 400 shares into rupees 3. So this is your 1200. Now tell me what is the money that you have already received. This is only the application money that I have only received. Right. So this amount will be shown under share forfeiture. So it will mention as to share forfeiture account. This will be your 400 into 3, that is 1200. You check it. Is it 3200 or not? Am I clear, all of you? So try to understand the question very thoroughly, what they are asking, how we are going to treat them. We should know very well what is my called up value that is going to be that here in the case of share capital. This called up value, on the basis of this called up value only, we are going to treat this account. So hope you have understood the concept very clearly regarding this particular forfeiture of shares. Hmm? Okay. Thank you all.